Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I am Chris Witt, and across from me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
Magnificent. How are you?
Very good. You're going to have to jump on this thing and catch on. So, Adam, we're going to try something a little different today. Adam's going to be across from me on this Facebook Live deal.
We're going to try it.
We're going to give it a try. I don't even know. We're going to start it off real quick here.
There we go.
There is an ugliest man in Major League Baseball competition, and we are going to start that off right off the bat. Last week, the number 3 seed lost in an upset to the number 6 seed, the creature, Ron Robinson. Big upset, 65% to 35%, Adam.
I voted for Ron Robinson.
Yeah?
I did.
I voted Otis Nixon because you know that I think Otis Nixon is one of the ugliest men on the face of the earth. So I went Otis Nixon. He lost. So now Ron Robinson's going to go up against the number 2 seed, Willie McGee. Good luck in that one. That's all I can say there. So
we got a split screen going on.
We do. Yeah, I see the split screen.
That's
yeah, all I
for.
see is the bottom of your chin now.
Yep. So I'm working on that angle.
Number 4 seed Rob Malako's going to go up against Andy Etchbarn. We'll throw that up there on the Nosebleed Sports Podcast Facebook page. Check it out, and we'll see what you guys think about that one. What do you think? Andy Etchbarn, Rob Malako. A lot of people aren't going to know either one of these guys.
Right. But check it out. We'll, we already had some. Is that mine?
Yeah. So anyway,
as low as I can go.
I don't know where it's coming from. Anyway, there's feedback, but that's all right. So let's get into this, brother.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little bet going for against the spread. Who can have the best year against the spread in NFL football? So far, good start for both of us.
Yeah.
We're picking 3 games every week. We both hit 2-1. Adam took Pittsburgh -4. That was his loss. I don't know why you would ever take Pittsburgh.
Because they were supposed to be like 20,000 times better than Cleveland.
Yeah.
But they weren't.
No, they weren't. This Facebook Live picture is cracking me up, dude. It's like just staring at the bottom of your chin.
You can see the worst part is staring up the bottom of my nose, honestly. But
here, push that thing back.
Where are you at? Okay.
You
think I should go? You think I should go side?
I think you need. Yeah, probably. All right. So anyway, let's kick through this. Try to make it through this while we do this here.
Let me post it up against this water bottle.
Post it up on the water bottle. It's gonna fall. So then you took Cincinnati, which at the time, because we pick on Wednesdays, so it makes it tough for the Sunday games because the line moves a lot. So if you just go straight off our Wednesday time frame, it was 2.5. I think it closed at 1, or it might have been a pick 'em by the time it finally closed. But you took them plus 2.5. So did I. I said that was the lock pick of the week. Good work on you. And because the Bengals won straight up. You took the Jets plus 6.5 on Detroit. That was a monster blowout, 48-17. And I took Miami, the home dog. So there you go, bro.
Good job.
There you go.
As long as I kind of stay somewhere close to you, I'm going to be pretty excited.
All right, so we're both 2-1 to start. So let's kick it off. So let's get into this week. There's a lot of good games going on this week. Who do you have this week in your against the spread picks?
So I have. I'm taking New Orleans.
Yeah.
They are 9-point favorite over Cleveland. All right. Look, I'm holding my eyes are bad, so I gotta hold my.
Your hand is covering your.
Oh,
good
job.
It's a bad echo, they say out there.
I know. You know what?
Switching it off. Turn it off.
It's not working out.
All right. How about this? I'll go over my 3 picks. Get yourself off of there. Set this thing back up where you usually put it, and I'll do my 3. All right. So I started off my 3 picks. Number 1. I'm going to take so the Jets are laying 3 at home versus Miami. So I am 100% taking the Jets because they looked damn good yesterday or Sunday. And they're at home, only giving up 3. Miami's all right, but they're not that great. So we're going to go with Miami. We're going to go with the Jets laying 3. Then I took Carolina getting 6. Getting 6 versus the Falcons. Boy, we should have just started like this from the beginning. Man, Adam's all about Facebook Live. We wanted to do a sports podcast. Throw it on a podcast, Apple Podcast, iTunes, SoundCloud. We're on all these, but Adam's got to have his Facebook Live, and we just can't perfect it. It's impossible to do.
How good a job did I do just now setting that up?
Probably
on a scale of 1 to 10.
I'm gonna give. Can you go negative on that?
Yeah, you can go negative.
All right,
you should go negative.
We'll probably go negative. All right, so I took Carolina plus 6 versus Atlanta in Atlanta. It just seems like a lot of points to me. I'm sure that'll spread will move by the time we get to Sunday. And then I took Kansas City. I love taking underdogs. Usually I like home underdogs. This is in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's probably gonna be a little pissed off, but I just the offense that Kansas City showed the other day. I mean, good night. They are looking damn near they looked pretty unstoppable. Such an incredible offense, and I'm taking them plus 4. So go ahead now. The stage is yours.
So
for your 3.
So I might as well go ahead and start with that one because I picked the same one.
Oh, did you?
I picked Kansas City. Yeah. So and the same. So Roethlisberger was terrible last week, and I don't expect him to be that bad this week. But
you got to remember they're going to be back at home though. That's the big thing.
They're going to be back at home. They are. I'm assuming probably put on a few more pounds. He's put on about 10 pounds each off season. I don't think good pounds.
No.
I think like Popeye's chicken pounds probably. But so he looked terrible, and like I said, I don't expect him to look that bad again. But he's also 36, something like that.
Right.
So he's gonna start to decline. I know quarterbacks last a long time now.
And he's a big boy, but he's been contemplating retirement for a while. So
Yes.
so are you gonna? So you said you are taking
I'm taking
KC
Kansas City.
plus 4 as well.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. And then my second pick.
That'll be down to 2.5 or 3 by the time the game goes off.
Okay, but we're going with what the points
No,
are
this is
now.
off right now. No, this is off right now.
Okay.
Because when you make your bet, it's off the time you made your bet.
Right. Okay.
Because you know all about that.
Right.
I had a killer week this week, just to let everybody know.
Hey.
Besides this, I was 4-6, or 4-4-6,
4-2.
4-2. How about that? So I had a pretty good week. So maybe I'll start throwing my picks out there on Twitter and letting everybody.
Hey.
Because I don't tweet enough, and if you want to catch me on the tweet box, it's at SickWithIt. I think I've thrown out about 15 tweets in the last 7 years.
But people are going to start relying on them for
Hey.
picks every week.
Hey, just when you got to take out a new mortgage, don't blame it on me. Don't bet money you don't have. How about that?
So yeah, be smart. My second pick.
Yes.
You're probably not going to believe this, but as bad as the Buffalo Bills are, I'm going to take them.
Pete.
I'm going to take them. They're at home.
Wow.
They're at home against the Chargers, and they're a 7-point dog right now. So
Look at you, 7-point dog.
I think
Got the lingo going.
dog. Yeah. I'm a massive dog
We know that.
person, so I like to use it. So I'm taking Buffalo, and honestly, I think by the time this game, I don't know what you think because you know way better than I would, but
Who they playing?
it's gonna be a bigger. They're gonna be a bigger underdog, I think, probably by the time they're playing the Chargers.
Okay.
So, but right now it's 7. I'm gonna take Buffalo just because they're at home, and I don't want them to be as bad as I think they really are. So I'm just gonna. It's just kind of
A hopeful pick.
hope pick. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So my last one, I mentioned it first. New Orleans. So they're a 9-point favorite, but they're at home against Cleveland. I think they're certainly going to cover that. They lost last week somehow, but they put up 40. So I feel pretty confident about that one. That's the one I feel most confident about.
All right, there you go. All right, well, that sounds good. So there's the 3 picks. There's, see what you want to do with it. And go from there. But we're going to get into the Bengals. Speaking of the Bengals, how was the game? What did you think about the game?
Well, they won, number one. That's the most important thing, right?
Yeah.
They, Joe Mixon looked good. Andy Dalton looked pretty good, I think. AJ Green had good numbers. He had 2 fumbles. He lost one. The other one was recovered by the Bengals. Are you concerned with AJ Green's 2 fumbles in the first game?
No, he's been doing that for years. I always say every time he catches the ball, he gets that chicken wing flipping out, and I can't stand it.
I'm very uncomfortable with the way he carries the ball after the catch.
He does it. He's been doing it for years. It happens every time. I expect him, if he doesn't go down right away, I expect him to fumble. Although apparently he doesn't fumble that often, and they're all saying that's an anomaly for him to fumble twice like that. But I'm going to tell you right now, I think that's going to continue to happen.
He had 2 fumbles last year and none in 2016. I was really surprised by that.
Yeah.
Because I'm the exact same way. Every time I saw him catch the ball, I feel like he's holding it way out, or he's holding it with 2 hands out away from his body or something. Like somebody's got to get to him.
Gets that chicken wing flapping.
So that's one thing I took away. The other thing was there were some controversial calls, right? And this is, I feel like we can probably talk about this every single week.
Mm-hmm.
The rules about hits on the helmet and the roughing the passer. Carlos Dunlap got 2 of them. At least the second one was bad, I think. I mean,
I don't know, man. The first one on Sean Williams, where Sean Williams got thrown out of the game. I mean, I don't know that he would have been thrown out of the game any other time, but he definitely would have. I mean, he would have got a penalty for that anyway. He came in low with his head. The whole falling on top of him and the fact that they threw him out, that's just part of what they're doing right now. They want to make the game less violent, or whatever you want to call it. It's a violent game no matter what, but they want to take the helmet out of football. Well, he did. He led with his helmet. It is what it is. He threw his head into him. So, should they have kicked him out? I don't know. The Dunlap one, that one gets on my nerves because he was just what else was he supposed to do? He's fallen to the ground himself, and his job is to sack the quarterback. And if you reach out and you're falling to the ground and you hit there's nothing else he could have done except for attempted to not sack the quarterback, to not grab him. That's the only thing he could have done when he was falling. And who in God's name, what professional NFL player is going to be rushing the passer, rushing the quarterback, and falling to the ground, being close, and not try to get him because you're afraid you're going to get a penalty? It's stupid. It's not going to happen.
You know what it's going to come to is it's going to become where you have to wrap them up and then dip them like you're ballroom dancing.
Yeah.
Just dip them and lay them down gently upon the soft green grass.
Oh yeah.
But
soft green turf.
Yeah. The issue is so for that one, it was you're not supposed to land with your body weight on the quarterback, right? So
with Sean Williams or
Carlos Dunlap. So
Dunlap, sorry,
yeah. So he wrapped him up from like the front, like basically he hit him in the chest, and he was chest to chest kind of with Luck, and so Luck went backwards. Carlos Dunlap went forward onto him, but he did try to kind of catch himself as they went down to avoid that penalty.
Now, with that, did you see that the NFL did come out that on Monday or Tuesday or one of the days, they send out letters for things they got wrong and things that should have been called, and they sent a letter out to the Bengals. They missed that call. That should not have been a 15-yard penalty for landing on the quarterback.
And I didn't hear anyone on any radio show, TV show, or anything say that they thought that was a good call.
Yeah.
So that one was bad, and it just the calls, the helmet to helmet stuff, and sometimes you can tell it's malicious. You can tell it's a guy just spears him. He just leads with his helmet, and he's just trying to hit a guy and maybe even hit him in the helmet or whatever. You can tell that a lot of times, but especially when guys are falling to the ground, already being tackled, moving, adjusting their body, trying to avoid or trying to protect themselves from the hit and stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody's moving at 100 miles an hour, and you're supposed to avoid, your helmet touching another guy's helmet. Like you're both kind of going down in the same.
There are times where it can't be avoided, and there are times.
A lot of times, I feel like. I feel like a lot of the time in the middle of a football play, you're gonna try to tackle the guy. No matter how low you try to get on him, he's probably lowering himself for a lower center of gravity to help protect himself.
That's what they want you to do, though. They want you to start lifting your head instead of leading with the crown of your helmet. That's the whole point.
So, but if I'm lifting my head and trying to put it on his hip or whatever the technique is, and at the exact same time, that guy bows down, that guy dips his head and kind of just into you, you're going to hit him hard, and your helmets are going to touch in some way, either really violently or just in some way. And anytime you get hit in the helmet, it looks kind of violent because it kind of jerks your head a little bit. You can't do what can you do?
There's nothing. I mean, there's nothing you can do. Honestly, I mean, you're going to get called for. There's going to be a lot. Now they are supposed to be starting to call for against the running backs as well. So a running back goes into the hole and he drops his helmet down. They're supposed to be getting calls the same way as the defense would. And in the preseason, I saw I think at least 10 flags or something, 10 or 12 flags in the third week of preseason maybe that they threw on the offense for leading with their head. Wow. So 1 week in the preseason they made it a point of emphasis, but it's all going to turn around. They're not going to call that.
Right.
I mean, they never have. They aren't going to start now.
You can take a charge in the NFL now. I didn't know that.
You can take a charge in the NFL.
Unbelievable.
Basically,
offensive foul, player control foul. That man, I feel like they keep opening Pandora's box. I feel like it's going to get more and more and more confusing for everybody, and especially for the referees. If they don't know how to really call the game, if they don't know how to call the rules, how is anybody else? How are we going to know? How are the players going to know?
And there's the NFL. This is going to be a constant process. The NFL is going to have to keep tweaking this until they get it right. I don't know if they ever will, but they're going to do their best to do it.
Or do they just go back to the beginning and say,
you know what? Happen.
If you don't want to
sign a waiver,
sign a waiver. If you don't want to get a concussion and probably die when you're 60, then sorry,
there you go.
Don't play.
There you go. Who knows? I don't know what they're going to do, but it's coming down to where the defense is being taken out of the game. That's why you see a lot of these high-scoring games.
You're right.
So speaking of defense being taken out of the game, Buffalo had absolutely no defense last week against Baltimore. Mm-hmm. That was a absolute annihilation, 47-3. We, the Bengals, the Bungles, have got to take on the Ravens tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. So, your predictions. What do you think about this game? I mean, Flacco, for the first time in 2 years, is healthy, and he has weapons around him. This is the guy, the Flacco everybody's been giving a ton of shit to is gone. This is the real deal Flacco right now. He's ready to play, and he came out and showed it last week, and they did not take their foot off the gas. They kept going the whole game. Is this something that the Bengals are going to worry about? Because I'm going to tell you right now, Andrew Luck, I believe the Bengals' new offense is 5 yards down the field, leave the middle of the field wide open. Andrew Luck could have thrown 400 passes 5-6 yards down the field in the middle. There was nobody. They were. I feel like the Colts were wide open in the middle of the field all day long. Now I don't know the schemes and things like that, 100%. So I can't tell you if that was done on purpose to try to give the underneath and take away the deep threat to T.Y. Hilton or what. But it was annoying as hell to watch. I can tell you that.
Yeah. I do think there's some concern because you're right. I mean, Flacco looked good last week, and he has been taking a lot of heat the last couple years, and a lot of people have written him off. But if he's healthier now than he's been in a while, and he continues to play the way he did last week, the Bengals are going to have a tough. Now, I still think their defense is good enough to certainly beat Baltimore, but it's not going to be an easy game, and I expect a close game. I do. I expect a close game, and it should be fun. It should be fun because it's the Thursday. It's the only game on. The whole world's going to be,
dude, I'm going to be in Columbus.
Well,
I'll be sitting in my hotel room watching this stupid game.
Well, you'll be okay. So you get to watch it.
Yeah.
What else are you going to
do? I guess that's it. Because I don't think there's anything else to be doing up there. unless you're going to try to find Urban Meyer and hang out with him because he ain't got nothing to do this week.
You're right. You're right. Ask him if he wants to go to the Ohio State game.
He might want to. He might want. You never know.
Tickets are on you.
So right now, Cincinnati is giving a point to Baltimore at home. What do you think about that? You think it's going to stay there? After the week Baltimore had, you're going to see people jump all over this Baltimore team because everybody's going to say that Cincinnati pulled that game off on a, because the Colts were driving at the end of that game.
Yeah.
I felt like they could throw the ball anywhere they wanted at any time. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't for a substitute safety making a few unbelievable plays. I can't pronounce his last name, so otherwise I'd do it. But
I just know it's spelled wrong for how it's pronounced. That's the only thing I know.
Like Favre?
Like Favre, exactly like Favre, yeah.
So anyway, I think you're going to end up seeing Baltimore giving points to Cincinnati. I'd wait on this till Sunday, right before the game starts, and see what you're getting, because I'm going to tell you right now, I can see easily the public turning this thing around and making this, if not a pick'em game, it maybe 1 or 2 given to the Bengals. Then I'd take Cincinnati.
It's hard.
You don't like Cincinnati. You think Bengals are going to lose this game?
No, I don't.
No?
No, I think they're going to win. But like I said, I think it's going to be close. So I wouldn't bet on this game because I think it's going to be close, and the spread's going to be close. So I don't feel that confident really either way, and however the spread ends up, if it's within a point or 2.
Right.
So I don't know, but just straight up win, I think the Bengals are going to take it.
All right. Well, we'll see how it goes then. All right. Well, we already did our picks, right? So what do you say? Let's jump into unless you got something else to go. I mean, Tyreek Hill, amazing game last week. The MVP is probably my favorite Harvard grad of all time. Is it Harvard? Where did he go to school? I don't even. Where did Fitzpatrick go to school? To some Ivy League school, didn't he?
Yeah, it was Harvard, wasn't it?
Harvard. There you go.
I think it was.
Anyway, wherever he went, some Ivy League school. That dude had an unbelievable week. I have Jameis Winston as a backup quarterback on my team. I might just drop him and keep Fitz in.
There you go.
Fitz does this every year. Every year, his first game with whatever team, he blows it up, and then he becomes a below-average quarterback. Average quarterback.
Okay.
For the rest of the year.
I'll take average. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have anything to add to that. I agree.
Good.
I agree with you.
All right, so we'll get into the segment that we love more than anything here on the Nosebleed Sports Podcast, and it is Swipe Left, Swipe Right.
Yeah.
Adam, have you come up with any good swipe left? Swipe left, basically, we ask each other a question. Swipe left if you disagree. Swipe right, not to ask a question, a statement.
Make a statement.
Swipe left if you disagree. Swipe right if you agree. Big dog, jump on it.
So to start, I promised last week that I would give you an update on one of the ones I had last week, which was the electric toothbrush.
Yes. How'd the electric toothbrush go for you?
So I've tried it probably about 4 times now because I brush about every other day. No reaction?
No, is that not normal?
Okay. Touche. Very good. So no, I'm switching back. I'm easing myself into it.
I brush my teeth when I take a bath. Every other day.
I bet you haven't taken a bath.
That's true.
So about once every 10 years or so you brush your teeth. Okay. No. So I've used it about 4 times. I'm going back and forth between because for 36 years I used the manual toothbrush. I'm not just going to I'm not going to throw it in the garbage and just start with the electric and go 100%. So right. At first, I was like, I don't know. This is different.
Not quite sure about it?
First 2 or 3 times. The last time, I think I got a little, so one of my problems is I put you put the toothpaste on. It's a glob of toothpaste on there,
It's
right?
a glob.
It's a glob. So and then you hit the button to start. Well, that thing's shaking like crazy because it vibrates. The glob just falls right off.
You can't go immediately from toothpaste on to vertical toothbrush and then hit the button. You got to keep that thing on. That thing on the parallel.
I did that twice.
On the whole.
I did that twice, embarrassingly. So then I figured out, okay, just start brushing a little bit, get it on there, and then start it up. That's how I did it.
And it worked out?
And it worked out. So I think I'm going to be fine. I think I'm going to be good. I kind of liked it the last time. Hopefully it does what the hygienist told me it would do and help, avoid brushing too hard and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I think trending up.
Good.
The electric
All
toothbrush.
right. Good. Hey, you know what? Like I said before, not a fan, but yeah, it is what it is. I like to get, like to get the right arm a little action in sometimes.
Yeah, sure. It's sure. Sure. So my first swipe left, swipe right, okay, is buying into buying into the concept of being the spoiler. So
like spoiler
playing the
alert,
spoiler as in like the
like
Cincinnati
watching a
Reds.
movie?
No, like the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh.
You're out of it. You're out of playoff contention. You have no chance. You're
Oh, that's
18
definitely
games.
swipe right. I love that. That's the
Okay.
only good thing about the end of the season is watching the Reds beat the brakes off of the Dodgers. How great is that? They get to, first off, I can't stand the Dodgers.
Oh.
Second off, I like Clayton Kershaw. How can you not like Clayton Kershaw? But I love watching any team knock that's doing terrible, because usually it's Cincinnati teams. Usually the Cincinnati teams are out of everything, and at the end of the year have a chance to knock somebody out. Hell yeah, do it.
Like the
Knock 'em
Bengals
out.
did last year.
Yeah, Bengals did it to Buffalo.
Yeah.
They
got Buffalo
in the preseason. In the preseason this year, when we played the Bills, Andy Dalton came out on the field and they gave him a standing ovation.
Nice. Very nice.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I definitely swipe right to the spoiler. Now I don't know about. I swipe left to spoiler alerts, because I hate when I'm like I said last week, when I'm DVRing a game. I'm not a big fan.
Spoilers.
When somebody spoils it for me. Yeah, if I'm DVRing, I gotta see that when I get back. Okay. Give me a chance to get home and watch it.
Okay.
But definitely right to for the Reds. Just did you see Scooter Gennett? I didn't. So they lost today, and I didn't see what he did today. But up to yesterday, Tuesday, he was 16 of 22 this year against the Dodgers. Dude, that's ridiculous.
I don't know what it is, but
the Dodgers are 0-6 against the Reds this year and 2-4 against the Marlins. How are you going to consider yourself a deep playoff team and you can't beat two of the worst 5 teams in baseball?
They're 1-6 now because they did win.
They did win today.
But
you're right.
But 1-6 against the Reds?
That's not very good, brother. And I'm gonna give it to Castillo. Yesterday, Castillo pitched another gem. He went 7 innings for a second time. He looked great. Listening to him, he's trying to raise his arm angle a little bit, and apparently he's staying on top of the ball better, and he's getting a little bit more movement, and you can see it. Boy, he looks like that electric kid that came up the last 2 years. So yeah. That's exciting. All right, so swipe left, swipe right. I'm gonna say swipe right, swipe left. Bengals 11-5.
Swipe left.
I'm going to get you some throughout the year. I'm going to keep that up. At some point in time, you're going to agree with me.
Scooter Gennett was 1 for 4 today, by the way.
1 for 4. So
but he's leading the National
17
League.
to 26 is still pretty flipping good against that one team.
Really good. and it's because he was 4
for
5 the other day.
If I could do math, I'd tell you what he's hitting against them. But I don't have my phone, so I don't have a calculator, and I can't do that any other way.
Right. What was he? 17 for what?
17 for 26.
All right, he's hitting 654.
That's unbelievable against the Dodgers. I wish the Dodgers were in town every single week.
And they might end up in the playoffs. Who knows?
Yeah, they got a damn good chance. All right, so then so let's jump over to yours next. Swipe left, swipe right. What do you got?
Okay, the last one I have. Checking the bag before you pull away from the window at the drive-thru.
I swipe left. Nah, I don't. I just take off. I'm gone.
As do I.
I just take off. And if I get home and it's screwed up, I eat whatever's in there.
Yeah.
Don't bother me. Because to be honest, if I'm getting food from a fast food restaurant, I really don't care what's
It's
in
all
there.
going to be crappy anyway.
It all tastes the same.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love it. But it all tastes the same.
Yeah.
Could care less.
Look, if I order a hamburger and you give me a salad instead, I'm gonna be kind of because I'm not gonna eat the salad. I'm gonna throw the salad away.
You know what I'm gonna
and then I gotta go get something else.
I'm gonna if that happens, at that point in time, I'm a little upset at the fact that you think I need a salad, because I feel like now you don't care about anything except you just saw me and said, "Big boy don't need no cheeseburger." Double cheeseburger ain't happening for you, brother. All right, swipe left, swipe right. This is the last one for the segment. Serena Williams is a baby. Serena Williams is a cranky baby.
I generally swipe left on that. I think I might swipe right on that for this past weekend at the U.S. Open final.
She annoyed the hell out of me. That was the most annoying thing I've ever seen. I'm a mom. She said, I'm a mother.
Yeah,
I'm a mother.
That was the worst part of it for me.
She pulled the mom card.
I have a daughter. You know who else has a daughter? Everyone.
No, you don't have a daughter.
Well, but almost everyone has a daughter.
I just don't understand.
People have kids. That doesn't mean that you definitely don't cheat or have ever. It doesn't mean Don't pull that card. Don't pull the "I have a daughter" card. Everyone knows you have a daughter
because you have a daughter.
Famous.
Yes, just because you have a daughter doesn't mean you're not gonna catch you're not gonna look over at your coach in the stands. Which, by the way, how stupid is it that you cannot get coached during it? I had no idea that your coach cannot coach you during a tennis match.
That makes no sense to me at all. I had no idea either. I had no clue.
So when I first heard that the reason that they got in trouble was because she was looking at him while he was coaching her, I was like, well, I didn't.
Isn't that how coaching works?
Yeah. What's the point of having your coach there if he can't, do his job? Doesn't make any damn sense. So anyway, I'd be upset too. The thing that got her though, you knew she was mad when she broke that racket. She slammed that. I didn't know you got in trouble for breaking your racket. I see people do that all the time.
And that
maybe they're getting warnings and we just don't know it.
Yeah,
because they don't bitch and moan like Serena did about it.
Well, and
she was getting her ass kicked. That's what happened.
Well, that all started kind of early in the match, I think. Still, so it wasn't like she was. I think she lost the first set, right?
Yeah.
And that happened like kind of at the beginning of the second one, I believe. But so apparently there's like a code of conduct in tennis that I didn't know about until now, which reminds me of golf, kind of the same deal. There are some etiquette things and some things that you'll get penalized for that are basically like class, like being classy and upholding the integrity of the game, which is interesting. I didn't know that about tennis.
I had no idea.
So that's fine, but some of these rules seem really weird, like the one you just talked about. And that's the thing too. So she went over the top. I think she went overboard with her because she kept going at it.
Oh, she didn't stop.
And she kind of lost it a little bit because she said some things that were really dumb. Number one, she like told him that he was calling her a cheater. She said, "You're calling me a cheater." I couldn't hear anything the guy was saying as they were interacting, but I don't think he called her a cheater.
No, I disagree with that because you gave her a warning for getting coaching, and it's illegal to get coaching. So he's saying you cheated. I caught you.
But he didn't say you are a cheater. He said he thought she made an infraction. He thought she did something illegal.
Cheating,
but not necessarily.
See, here's my thing. I agree.
Traveling
with you.
isn't cheating. I was just going to say,
I agree with you. If you intentionally foul somebody, that's not cheating. That's just a foul. So I don't know. Definitely, I think you're right. I don't think that he was calling her a cheater. He was just saying, hey, you pushed the envelope a little further than you're allowed to. You can't do that. I'm gonna give you your foul, which is basically a warning.
Mm-hmm. And she would have been fine if she said, okay, you're wrong, and that was really stupid. That was a really dumb warning. Okay, so you're an idiot. Okay,
but at this point in time,
and then
you gotta
drop it.
You got to know you have a warning against you, apparently.
Right.
And then she gets all pissed off, butthurt, and throws her racket down. Dude, she's how big? What does it say? What does it say? Serena is
5'9", 155, which is very much lighter than I think she is.
Honestly, she's 5'9", 155. Oh boy, good night. I mean, her thighs are bigger than me, and that's not a bad thing. She's in shape. My girl's in unbelievable shape.
Absolutely.
And she showed that racket how much she works out. That thing was folded in half. She folded that racket like a lawn chair.
That's what I would look like if she slammed me on the ground like that.
No, 100%.
Like I would be like a racket. I would be like a racket in her hand.
You weigh
anyway.
as much as a racket.
No, but so what the funny thing was is she like accused him of calling her a cheater, even though I don't think he actually said you are a cheater. He just basically said that was a foul.
Right.
And then she was so up. That's what I mean, she lost it when that happened because she took that as you're calling me a cheater.
Yep.
Now, maybe she didn't really, she may not have really been taking coaching. Her coach said, sure, I was coaching, but I was just saying what I just have like a running commentary, and I'm doing the same thing every single coach does at every single tournament, including this one. He said I've never ever in my life been, I've never had that called in any match I've been involved in my life.
For the World Series of tennis to call it.
And so he's like, he thought it was really weird and everything. So I kind of trust Serena Williams, the greatest tennis player ever, and her coach to know how odd that is and how probably, that's normally let go.
Is he an SOB or is she a whiny little crybaby? Or is it a combination?
It came off because he was a lot more calm than she was, so it came off that she just flew off the handle and lost. And it was a true meltdown because you could just watching her face throughout the rest of that match, watching her face, and she just kept going at him after every game was over. She kept, you owe me an apology. She wouldn't let it go. And that was one of the things too. Yeah, one of the things she owes you. Okay, next time I'm playing basketball and a ref calls a foul on me, I'm gonna demand he owes me an apology.
Especially if you didn't
and cry my eyes out for the rest of the game.
If you didn't foul the guy, well, you do that anyway. Whenever you, are you kidding? But yours is the opposite. Yours is he fouled me. He fouled me. You owe me an apology. He fouled me.
Wow.
Up and down the court.
That made me sound really bad. All right. I'll take it. I get a little worked up when. Anyway,
I haven't played with you in a few years, so it may not be as bad as it used to be.
It's been 1 year. We didn't play last year at Holy Family. It's been almost 2.
Yeah.
But anyway, so her accusing him of calling her a cheater, and then her being so upset about that, and then her calling him a liar and a thief, and then getting a that was when she got the game taken. So her first infraction,
she called him a thief, and that was verbal abuse.
That was verbal abuse. Which
abuse.
Apparently is a thing. That was strike 3 or whatever. So you get a game.
I didn't call somebody for verbal abuse. All they did was call you a thief.
But yeah, but that's the thing. She actually called him 2 names and like attacked his character when she was that upset about the same thing, feeling the same thing that he did. And he didn't even call her anything. He just said, I think you're getting coaching. That's against the rules. There you go. And then she slammed her racket down because she was having a meltdown because of that.
Normally would have been a warning, but instead it's strike 2, take a point off the game.
Right.
And then they take a game off the set.
So you already know you're that much in the hole, and then you just keep going at it, and you won't let it go. I mean, she took herself out of the all-time greats, Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, the greatest at their sports. What is the one thing that you think of that they have over everybody else? Mental toughness to me. Mental toughness and just I think, or you have to at least have that way above average.
Right.
To be that great.
Because Tiger Woods Tiger Woods has been known to get into his own head.
Absolutely.
And also he's known to go after fans. I mean, now you got to now the amount of people that follow him on a golf course is way different than any other golfer.
Right.
And there'll be a picture taken in that click and things like that, and he'll go bananas. Well, he used to. He's not been like that this year.
Right.
But he used to go bananas. So yeah, I think there are. But I think that's part of the competitive nature, to be that good, to be the best of the best. I mean, literally, Serena Williams is one of the 5 best athletes of all time, and to be that best of the best, you got to be super competitive. You have to have.
You're probably a perfectionist.
Probably.
I think all 3 of those people.
When you're getting your butt kicked, and you're not used to it, you're gonna get a little bit more edgy than normal, and boy, was she edgy.
She was edgy.
She told the crowd to stop booing. The poor Osaki or whatever her name is was crying. She's trying to talk to her, make her feel better. And I was like, you know what? Maybe she realizes how dumb this was. And then she got to her post-match interview and just kept on going.
She really lost it. I
She
think
told the dude he will never.
Yeah.
You will never. What is it? An umpire or a referee? Do we ever decide what they are? A judge?
It's a judge or an official. I'm not even sure.
Whatever he is up there. You will never sit in a chair at one of my matches. Guess what? Could you imagine if like Tom Brady, if Tom Brady was like, you know what, Ed Hockley, your muscles are too big. You will never referee another game of mine again. Guess what? You might be the best ever. But you don't have that kind of power. Officials. No, you don't have that kind of power, sweetheart.
I don't know. The one thing that she said that I think probably has some merit, and it kind of came across at first like, okay, you're playing this card too. First you played the mother card. There's no way I can cheat because I'm a mother and I have a daughter and I teach her the right thing. Okay, great. But she also played there are men out here that do a lot worse than that. As far as slamming the racket down, as far as yelling at the official, and I think she's probably now. I don't watch a whole lot of tennis, but I feel like I've seen plenty of that before.
Sure, but it's probably the first time they did something, so it's probably just a warning, and they don't go nuts and tell the ref, the blue, whatever he is. Does he not look like the biggest goober too? Like they're like dressed to the like. Is tennis not the most country club sport there is? My dude is an ref. He's got his like bow tie on, sports jacket. My man looks like he's ready. Like he's ready for a 5-star meal or something like that.
I'm telling you, it's the more I see, the more I feel like it's kind of similar to golf. Like it's, that's kind of the same way in golf too,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the one thing that I saw that I thought might be kind of a legitimate complaint was there are people that I think probably behave worse. Now she, in total, from the beginning of her disagreement with the guy to the end of it, even after the match and stuff, she just lost it. She just, it was too much. But to get upset, to disagree with the guy and to yell at him, I feel like I've seen that, and I don't watch tennis, but I feel like I've seen that a lot.
So how about this? So to tell you how big this is and how amazing Serena Williams is, I've never talked about tennis for more than 5 seconds in my life.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Dude, we just spent like 10 minutes talking about Serena Williams yelling at some old white guy.
It was an interesting thing to me.
It was. That's why I brought it up, because I thought it was interesting too. And I think she's a little whiny baby for it, but get your head on straight.
But I don't feel like that's a regular thing for her. I mean, I
have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
I don't watch enough tennis. Couldn't tell you if she argues with guys all the time or not. Don't they? And you can't even really argue anymore. Why is that guy even up there? It's all computerized. Like every time there's a shot close to the line, they all turn around at the big screen and they got a sweet like cartoon of the ball and shows exactly where it was. That's the coolest thing in the world. Why can't we have that in every sport? I feel like that would take care of everything. Wouldn't it? I mean, you have a little cartoon character of Joey Votto standing there, and the pitch comes in, and you got the little square, and it shows it just above, and Joey Votto says, "Hey, I took that pitch. It was a ball. I'll go to the big screen." And they go to the big screen, boom, within less than a second, they see it's a ball. Okay, it's a ball. Go back onto it.
We might be heading that way. If we're doing cartoons, I want Seth MacFarlane to voice every single character in those cartoons.
He's going to do the voice of the ball hitting the ground.
Exactly. Yep. That's so good. I love that sound effect.
All right. So enough about Serena Williams. I'm done with her.
Okay.
We talked a little football. Let's talk about the Reds here for a minute. Because even though they are officially eliminated, they are our team. This is kind of, this is the reason we started the pod. Well, the reason we started the podcast was college basketball. I mean, that's when we started it. But the Reds are definitely number 2 in our hearts. So let's go. The Reds have been looking good, but right now what I want to know is, in the American League, is Oakland going to catch Houston? Is it going to happen? Is Oakland finally going to surpass their 3 games back? This is one of my favorite things. If Oakland can come back and do this, how amazing would that wild card game be? The Astros versus the Yankees. The best pitching in baseball versus the best offense in baseball. Well, second best offense.
Yeah. I don't know that. I don't really feel that confident that they're going to catch Houston in the American League West, but I'm excited to see if they can surpass the Yankees for that first wild card spot and get home field in that wild card
Woo.
game.
Here's the deal.
That's what I'm excited about.
Oakland's got a great bullpen. Their starting pitching, they can run anybody out starting pitching. It really doesn't matter because their offense right now is ridiculous.
And suddenly Chris Davis is an MVP candidate.
Yeah, it's exactly correct. And I wish he was that good on my my damn baseball app because he's the worst player on my team right now. Dude can't hit a ball, save his life. Anyway,
Chris Davis?
Yeah.
Except, so he's like an Adam Dunn, like he either hits a home run or strikes out pretty much.
No, he just can't hit at all. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's killing the ball in real life, which is what we're going to talk about. So, yeah, Oakland, I'm excited. I hope Oakland overtakes. I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to take the Astros. How many games we got left? There's been 146 games played, so we still got about 20 games left.
Yeah.
That is doable, brother. That is doable.
It is doable.
3 games is doable.
It is. But like you mentioned, Houston's pitching is so good. It's so good. And we mentioned it last week too. The A's lost for sure now Sean Manaea for the rest of the year. And from what I understand, maybe all of next year too.
Jeez, Pete.
Yeah. So that's gonna hurt them, especially when they get into that short series in the playoffs. If they win the wild card game.
Their offense is just so good though. Is that really gonna
Yeah, with a bunch of guys that people don't really know about, you know,
the truth.
Matt Chapman and Chris Davis and Jed Lowry and So it is. I kind of became sort of an A's fan. I know it's very fair weather and front runner of me, but like 2001, 2002, when they started getting good, when the whole Moneyball thing started to play out, and they had that, they started getting really good. They had Miguel Tejada and what's his name from Ohio State, not the Greek god of walks, that's Kevin Youkilis, but he's on, I think, MLB Network now.
I'm sorry, I didn't even hear what you started with. Anyway. I was looking up how many games that Oakland had left. They have 18 games left against the Angels.
Nick Swisher,
Rays, Swish. Okay.
Nick Swisher. So they had those guys. It was a fun,
it
was a fun team, and and really because of Barry Zito, Mark Mulder, and Tim Hudson, they had that big three, and they were just awesome. So I kind of since then have kind of rooted for the A's every year. And I, of course, have always been a bigger fan of the Yankees losing. So that's why I really want to see the A's, overtake. They're only a game back of that first wild card spot now. So if they can overtake, I think they have a better chance to overtake the Yankees for that first wild card spot, and they'll get home field. Now, that doesn't guarantee a win or anything like that, but if they have their best guy going against the Yankees' best guy, and it's in Oakland, I think the Yankees are going is about as far away as you can go from home.
There ain't no doubt about
it. That would just be so exciting. I'd be really excited for that game. And you know what else I love?
David versus Goliath,
exactly. And you know what else I love is I'm hoping for.
If it was Oakland versus the Yankees, that game, that one game wild card that I can't stand more than anything in the world, I'm gonna say right now that game's gonna end like 16-12.
Really? You think so?
No, not really, but I would love it if it did.
I wouldn't. The playoffs are.
Look, I know it. I love the great pitching match. That's my thing. Playoffs. I'm with you on that with the playoffs, but that's the kind of game that could get like that.
It could. You're right. It could. But yeah, I don't know. But I mean, that's really so you got the American League West. It's 3 games apart right now. You have that. Tampa Bay is 8.5 games back for the second wild card spot. So they're not going to make a move. I mean, they're not going to make it all the way back and pass either the Yankees or the A's.
Although the Rays do get Oakland here at the end of the week, over the weekend. They got a series with Oakland here, and that could be fun because
it's a 3-game.
It's a 3-game series, and the Rays have an opportunity to really put a damper on them trying to win the division.
Trying to win in the division, but even if they sweep them, I don't think they're going to catch them in the wild card.
No.
So really the only race is the American League West and the home field advantage for the wild card game.
Sure,
basically.
Exactly.
In the National League, the Phillies have played their way out of it almost.
Yeah, they're 7.5 out. You might as well forget that over the span of. I mean, that's not going to happen. Atlanta's got that locked up,
and they're 6.5 back in the wild card now. You can almost write the Phillies off, honestly.
The problem with that is it's not 6.5 games that hurts them there. They have to jump 4 teams to get back in.
Exactly.
That's where it kills you. You could be 3 games out, but if you got to jump 3 teams to get there. That's the difficult part. If it's 1 team and you're 6.5, you can do that because you only need 1 team to lose. You need 4 teams to lose here for you to be able to do it. And the Dodgers are doing it. The Dodgers are trying their best to get out of it. Arizona, Arizona, they're 3-7 over their last 10 games. They don't look like they want to do anything either. So I think I would love to see 3 Central teams make it.
So would I.
At this point in time, it looks like that's where we're heading.
Yeah. Yep. I wouldn't mind.
The Central seems to be the hottest division in baseball right now.
Yeah. They've been, so the Pirates have been so up and down, but there have been several days this year where 4 of the 5 teams were 500 or better. Because the Pirates have gotten up to as much as like 10 games over 500, I think, at one point.
They're only 1 game below right now.
Yeah. So they keep kind of fluctuating. But yeah, it would make me feel pretty good, even though it doesn't matter for the Reds because they're just bad no matter what. But it would make me feel good if three of the 5 teams in the National League Central made the playoffs, and that's what it's set up for right now.
So I'm still going with it. I'm saying Oakland's going to catch. I'm saying Oakland's going to catch these Astros, and I think it's going to be fun to watch the Astros and the Yankees in the wild card. And like I said before, it's still the Yankees are going to win 100 games. They're going to be right at 100 games, close to it. They're 90-56 right now. They're going to be close to winning 100 games. They're going to lose the division by 10 games, which is ridiculous.
The Red Sox won their 100th game, by the way, tonight.
Yeah, and then they're going to have to win a 1-game playoff. So you know what? Congratulations. 100 games, you did good, but you got to go win a 1-game playoff. You made it to the playoffs, which, by the way, stupid. That's not the playoffs. If you're in the wild card playoff game, you didn't make the playoffs.
That's the playoffs to me.
No, that's okay. So then you say the first round of the NCAA tournament is at the play-in games, because this is a play-in game. You call that the first round?
By definite, well, it is called the first round.
So you agree that I took it off. I thought that's just the playing games now. That the first round is the original is the 64.
Did they change it? Because they were calling it the first.
I thought I saw that.
I don't know, but for those teams, they're in the NCAA tournament. I think you're if I'm on a college basketball team and we make the play-in game, we made the NCAA tournament because you won your. Because it's always those teams that won a really small conference that get paired up in those games. So you did what you needed to do to qualify, and you made it in. So okay, you got stuck in the play-in game, but you don't have any control over that. I mean, they decide who they think the lowest teams are.
You weren't good enough to make 64. You got to play in to get there. If you make the 64, then you made the tournament. If you lose in a playoff game, sorry.
So you won your conference tournament, which means an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament, but because a group of guys decided, you're one of the bottom 4 teams in this thing. We're just going to throw you in this game that you have to win an extra game. That's you don't feel like you made the NCAA tournament if you're on that team?
I don't know. You're making my flash random saying that I said real quick out of nothing turn around and making me actually think now. And that's not what I was planning on doing tonight was think. So
that's what I think about that. And I think you're even more in the playoffs if you're a wild card team. You're that good. You did enough to make. Now, sometimes we've said this before. Sometimes you get two teams in the wild card game that ended up 8 games over 500. That's the way it turned out.
Yeah.
The National League West was like that a few years ago. It was like, the team that won it was like 10 games over 500, and one of the other teams was like 8 games over 500, and they were in the wild card. And that's, sometimes it works out that way. Sometimes the Boston Red Sox are one of the greatest teams of all time, and you happen to be 10 games below them, but like 10 games above everybody else.
That's legit too. These guys are ridiculous. So the Red Sox were the first team to 100, and Houston was the first team to 90. The Yankees were second. All right. So yeah, that's I agree. You got what else you want to do with this baseball deal?
Well, so you're talking, so the A's are 3 back of Houston in the American League West, and you think the A's can catch them?
Yep, I definitely think they can catch them easily.
Milwaukee's only 1 game back of the Cubs in the Central. Do you think they catch them?
The Cubs aren't playing that great here lately.
Milwaukee's keeping pace. I mean,
they are.
The Cubs, I think the Cubs still have the best record in the National League, if I'm not mistaken.
No, yeah, they do. They got 84. They're 84 and 61.
And Milwaukee's keeping pace. I mean,
yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say Chicago holds on to that. But I am excited to see Milwaukee, especially because I really want I want Christian Yelich to have a little bit of a slump here to go forward, so I can see Scooter win the batting title.
Yeah.
Because that would be pretty sweet. First person to do it since, what was it, Pete? I think.
Yeah.
In 70 or something like that.
It was like, I thought it was like, yeah, no, it was like 73 or something.
Something like that. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see. I'd love to see Scooter do that. So yeah, I'm going to say that the Cubs hold it out. I mean, they could. Obviously, 2.5 games is nothing.
It's a game right now, I think, right?
Is it a game?
Yeah, I think it's a game.
Yeah, it's 1 game back. So it's especially now.
And the Dodgers, even after losing,
still only a game out of behind Colorado,
West,
because Colorado has been winning some games here lately. If the Dodgers don't play the Reds, they've actually been playing pretty well. So this is a tough. That's going to be fun. So you got the American League West, you have the National League Central. And that is, the National League West, National League Central, and that's really it, man. These American leagues, besides Oakland, 14.5 games Cleveland's up. That might be the worst division to ever set foot in Major League Baseball is the American League Central.
That's bad.
But that Cleveland team does have your favorite, Mr. Jose Ramirez. So
I'm telling you,
that's still your MVP.
You know what? It may have changed. It's hard not to give it to JD Martinez. It's really hard not to. But I mean, you still have other guys that you can make a case for. You can make a case for Mike Trout. You can make a case for even Mookie Betts. He doesn't have the power numbers, but I think he's like.
Can JD Martinez bump his average up 11 points or whatever it needs to, and Mookie Betts come down to possibly win the Triple Crown?
Yeah, they can.
He's only a home run behind Chris Davis, who's killing the ball right now, but he's leading. I mean, he's up by 11 RBIs, so he's going to get the RBIs he's going to do. He very well could easily surpass him in home runs. This dude could do it. I mean, JD Martinez could be. We went 40 years without seeing a Triple Crown winner until Miguel Cabrera, and we might see another one here within 4 or 5 years afterwards.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
It is really impressive. Yeah, so I think as far as MVP goes, I'm probably leaning at JD Martinez right now.
That's where I'm at. I'm with JD.
Yeah,
I'm with JD Martinez for sure. The National League. Now the National League is way more difficult. How the Reds how can the Reds be this bad? How can they be this bad and yet have the guy who leads the league in batting average and then another guy lead the league in RBIs?
Yep.
I don't understand how you can be that bad.
And
another guy leading in on base percentage.
Thank you.
It's ridiculous. It's just crazy.
It's called pitching.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Pitching wins in baseball, which is why the Astros will probably win again. So,
yeah. So,
I'm not going Carpenter or Goldschmidt. I don't know, man. That's a tough deal. Freddie Freeman's had a good year.
Really has.
Travis Story has been great. Javi Baez, I think, is probably one of the front runners at this point in time.
Yep, definitely.
So yeah, I think maybe Baez. I guess I'd go with unless you do something crazy and give it to Jake DeGrom.
So
I would give him the Cy Young and the MVP. I mean, it can't be. I
wow,
wouldn't give him the MVP. You can't give DeGrom the MVP. His team
the Mets are
sucks.
terrible.
They're terrible.
Well, how much does that factor into the Cy Young?
I don't think it factors into the Cy Young as much as it factors into the MVP.
I agree.
The
with you.
MVP, I think it factors into greatly.
Mhm.
I think the Cy Young, I don't. I think that's just the best pitcher in baseball. That doesn't have to do with the most valuable pitcher in baseball.
Well, one of the things you're measured by, even though you probably shouldn't be, is wins and losses. And we've talked about that before. It's wins and losses for a pitcher are silly.
It's the dumbest thing in the world.
But you know,
Jake DeGrom's below. He's a sub-2 ERA, and I think he's got 8 wins or something like that.
yeah, he's
It's terrible. It's
you know,
he's 8-9, 8-9, and he's got a sub-2 ERA. That just shows you how terrible the Mets are.
the Mets just must have the worst offense in baseball. I haven't looked in a while, but I don't know. But I think DeGrom is still like 20 strikeouts below, 20 or 30 strikeouts below Scherzer, if I'm not mistaken, because Scherzer's
He is.
got,
He's about 40 below.
is Scherzer going to get to 300? He's where is it at?
Yeah, he's 270 right now. Yeah,
So
he could easily do it.
He'll
He'll have
there.
3 starts left. He could do it.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
So DeGrom is 32. Yeah, 32 strikeouts below him. Batting average against Scherzer's got like almost 20 points lower. Guys are hitting 183 against Max Scherzer.
It's the two of them are going to race it out. Are going to fight it out. It's between the two of them
for sure.
But I don't know. Give it to Scherzer. Give the MVP to Scherzer. I don't care. Give it to a pitcher. Why not? National League, they don't have anybody that stands out enough to give it to. So give it to a pitcher. Screw it. You'd be like Alex Rodriguez, be one of the worst teams in baseball and win the MVP. Give it to DeGrom on one of the worst teams in baseball and give him the MVP. That's how good DeGrom is right now. Anyway, all right.
Yep.
So don't forget to vote on the ugliest man in Major League Baseball, because it's a good one. Paul Malakote, Andy Etchebarren, who nobody's ever heard of either of them, but they are two of the ugliest people you've ever seen. Winner of that, unfortunately, has to face Don Mossi, so they're going to lose no matter what comes up, no matter what happens after that. Anyway, so check that out. Get on Beat the Streak app. Check us out. Group's called Nosebleeds, all one word. You can, if you get on there and hit 20 games, I'll get you a Nosebleeds t-shirt. And if you win the whole year, then if you beat Mike Jenkins' 12 streak he's got, then you can get a Nosebleeds Sports Podcast gift box. Pretty exciting.
Mystery box.
Pretty exciting. Also, subscribe. Anybody that subscribes, we're on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, CastBox, and YouTube. Check us out. You subscribe, and you got yourself a free Nosebleeds t-shirt coming your way. So something to think about there as well. We appreciate everybody listening.
We do.
This actually, this year, this is sponsored. This podcast is sponsored.
We have a sponsor.
We do.
That feels big now.
Yeah, I feel
That
pretty
feels
big. Yeah.
So
go ahead.
our sponsor is Training Personally with Peggy Edwards. So it's a gym in Westwood. So if you're near Cincinnati, if you're on
the west side,
if you're on the west side, you know what? If you're in northern Kentucky, if you're in eastern Indiana, you're only 15, 20 minutes at the most away from this gym.
a lovely little gym in Cheviot, Ohio.
It's technically in Westwood.
Okay,
but
technically in Westwood.
It's a couple blocks from Cheviot, but it's an intimate setting, and you are going to get, so it's circuit training. You go in, there's a circuit. You just work out by time. There are stations. You go around the set, and you get the attention of a one-on-one personal trainer. Peggy Edwards is a certified personal trainer. She's unbelievably good at it, and you will get the one-on-one attention without paying $100 an hour for what you would normally pay for.
That's right.
You're going there. It's very affordable.
That's how Adam keeps his girlish figure.
That's how I keep my girlish figure. Is never mind. So yeah, we both have been there. I don't go as consistently as I should, but She's got a lot of regulars. She's really building a really nice client base. Emily and Marin are both listeners of this podcast and regulars at the gym.
There you go.
Shout out Emily and Marin. So please visit trainingpersonally.com. She's also on Facebook, Training Personally with Peggy Edwards. Check her out there, both places. You'll get all the information, exactly where the gym is, any details you need. Her contact information's on there. You can email her. Check out Training Personally.
There you go. We appreciate it. Everybody, thanks for listening. For Adam Schmidt, I am Chris Witt. We are the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. And don't forget to turn your headlights on. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, ow, ow. Ow. Guess who's back? Back again. Whew. Man, I'm sweating like a monkey.